Mwereri wa Kameme TV ni ndakugeithia ndakunyita ugeni miarahuko ya muthenya wa umuthi ni muthenya wa gatatu wa kiumia giki na ngehoka muthenya waku no urathie na mbere na njira iria yagiriire ihinda ria gukurehera mohoro thiini wa tabarira wendete ya Ndurumeni Matuura-ini kuria tukoragwo tukihungura kaunti ciothe cia bururi wa Kenya kuria andiki aitu a mohoro meharagiria wega magatumenyithia uria kaunti ciao ciregariura koguo ndakunyita ugeni witikire tukorwo tugithunguka hamwe kuma guku Nairobi ho nginyagia kaunti yaku ni njitagwo kuria wa gicimo ni ngukorwo ngigutereba thiini wa tabarira ino tukwambiriria na kuria mwena wa gicua-ini na kuria cira uria ugomeire muhunjia Paul Mackenzie mutumia wake Roda Mubua na aruna ake 16 ni matanyitwo gukinywo igoti-ini ria Shanzu kaunti-ini ni makinyitio igoti-ini ria Shanzu kaunti-ini ya Mombatha mbere ya mucirithania Yusuf Shikanda kuria marathie na mbere na kuruta mucirithania atanyitwo kuruta mwerekera wa kana hi ekwirwo aya ni mekurekererio kana no meguthie na mbere na kuhingirwo kwa kahinda kangi ga thikũ 30 kuringana na ihoya ria mwena wa thitango na uria makihoete tuthie mwe kwa mwe thiini wa igoti riri ria Shanzu kuria cira uyu urathie na mbere.
Who will now participate in that ID parade? Your Honor, by any standards, it's a huge number. Secondly, look, in terms of physical description, the same skin tone. Yes. Your Honor, so that when the respondents went into hunger strike, their physical posture changed. And the police lost around 20 days trying to save their lives through the applications that we brought to this honorable court. And it is not by doing of the investigators. Your Honor, so that the reason for extended detention is that the police and we will be requesting for the court to look at them because they are before you. Your Honor, I've looked at them, the respondents, and I can see that they have improved in terms of others that are other reason this honorable court
tukima cira wa Mackenzie kuri igoti-ini ria Shanzu na ndego wa gathungu ni guthie na mbere akirumanagirira na riboti iyo nigetha tumenyithie uria mucirithania Yusuf gukorwo agitua muthenya wa umuthi no kwa ndagika ino reke twambe tucenji kinya na kamiti ya bunge igie urimi riu negite na giikaro na kambuni 29 cia uthei wa mutu na iria cirateta ni undu wa kwaga kurihwo mbeca ciao ni thutha wa ngirimiti ya mutu wa raithi na thirikari ya Kenya Kwanza mwaka muhituku na riu kambuni ici cikiuga ati mathire macio mahakuhe ma ciringi bilioni 3 makiria riu guthinekania mihango yao ya uthii wa nambere no na gukihana oro uguo kiuria kiria kiyumiritie iguru rigie mathabu ma mubango uyu na kuria muigana uria ministry ya kigene raheana gukorwo itarihite nduratwarana na muigana wa mbeca iria kambuni ici cirauga citirihitwo Mataru wa Mwangi ari thiini wa cikaro ici akirumanirira na riboti ino na ngwendaga tuthie mwe kwa mwe tunyitanire nake atumenyithie mange maingi Mataru agikorwo ni urajigua tuthie na mbere.
Do the final one, the final one, because one
through the chair, when I was saying that done, I've just realized that out of the 33 million that was paid to the millers, that some documents were missing, yet the amount was paid. I'm saying out of the 533 million that was paid to leaders, there's something that is amiss because you have to have accountable documents when you are paying. And I've realized that there are some millers who are paid without some documents, either the invoice numbers or the invoice numbers or none at all. So what criteria was used to ensure that these people or the millers were paid without the rightful document for the payments? And I have some examples. For example, if you look at Karibu Plan Mills, they did not have any IFMIS number, yet they were paid over 22 million. If you look at Osho Grain Millers, they did not have either the invoice number nor the IFMIS number, yet they were paying some money. And many others that I may mention, including Catwell Industries Limited, they did not have IFMIS numbers, but money was paid to them. So how are they paid without the rightful documents? Thank you.
Just a word. Chair, I want to ask NCPP. Whether you received 100 million for the monitoring expenses, for this exercise. Did you receive?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did, Vice Chair.
Okay, then maybe the ministry will give us the evidence to support the 100 million that they gave. Okay, what Honorable W.N. Jokinjel has asked is fundamental. We would like you to actually confirm that what you are presenting to us is verified by you. Because in some cases, the IFMIS number is missing. There is even no invoice number. When there is an no invoice number, we don't know whether that milling company doesn't have authentic documents, or what did you submit to the ministry for you to be paid some of those. Now, the other issue is your numbers kept on changing. If I refer you to page 8, a letter that you had written on 25th of July last year to the Principal Secretary of Agriculture, you have clearly even serialized. There are 28. Then if you look at page 27, that one was on page 8. Page 27, if you count those millers, they are still 28. I don't know where you are getting 39 from. Just count them one by one, because you've not serialized there. They are still 28. And you know we are talking about money. We don't want to pay most millers.
Haya, tukiuma hau mwendwa wa Kameme TV ni ati anyiti itemi ruhonge-ini rwa githomo kana honge-ini cia githomo kuma mabũrũri ma gĩtarũ kĩa Afrika ya irathĩro rĩu nĩ mambĩrĩirie kĩgomano gĩa thikũ ithatũ nĩgetha kwarĩrĩria ngũrani kana kwarĩrĩria maũndũ ngũrani ma gũkinyanĩria ũrũngĩrĩru wa arutwo kĩmĩtugo na ũũ nĩ kũhĩtũkĩra mĩtaratara ya mathomo thukuru-inĩ. Kĩgomano gĩkĩ gĩũkĩte rĩrĩ mũtaratara wa gĩthomo wa CBC ũthiĩte na mbere na gũkinyanĩrio nĩ ataaramu a mũtaratara ya gĩthomo na kũrĩ ataaramu aya maugĩte atĩ ikinya rĩrĩ nĩ rĩgũteithĩrĩria arutwo kũhota gwĩtuĩra matua mao na ningĩ gũcaria kĩhonia rĩrĩa maumĩrĩrwo kana magũmĩrwo nĩ nditi na oho gũkũria taranda ciao.
We are the members of the Regional Education Learning Initiative, RELI, which is a network of 70 civil society organizations in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. For the last 5 years, we came together to support the improvement and the reform of education in our countries, focusing on learning, because so many children go to school every day without learning. We are here as a special thematic learning area on values and life skills, or what in the Kenyan context we call core competencies and values that are in CBC. This has been a big challenge for us because these are very complex problems, very complex competencies to be able to assess. We cannot examine them the way we do physics or mathematics or English. They have to be assessed in different ways that are very complex. So as a group, we have been working together over the last 3 years, learning from other countries that do this, how to do it for ourselves. We have addressed 3 questions. First is, which of these competencies is important for our context in East Africa, and how does one measure them or assess them in our context? The second is a question of what works in improving or developing, nurturing these competencies in our context. And the third question is around how do you assess these competencies for the context of Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. This conference that has started today is a conference where we are coming to learn, showcase what we have been able to achieve over the last 3 years, but also learn from the rest of the world and what other countries and other contexts have been doing so that we may also get to improve. Most participants in this conference are government people from the curriculum institutes, examination councils of East Africa and other countries, so that we may also get to start working with them. So it is also a place of connection, so that in the period between 2023 and 2025, we are able to work together to have the change happen all the way to the classroom. The report that we have launched today is presenting the findings of an assessment that we conducted in 2022, assessing problem solving, collaboration, self-awareness, and respect. In summary, we find that our adolescents that we assessed were aged between 13 and 17 years. They have begun the journey to where they need to be. But a majority of them, more than 85%, are not where they need to be. So only a few of them, around 15%, are. In problem solving, we find that only around 5% are at the highest level. And the highest level for problem solving is where you are presented with a problem, you understand that problem, you seek information to help you to analyze and understand the problem, use that information to generate multiple solutions, and then pick the best solution. So most of our adolescents are at that level where they can only identify one solution to a problem. And yet we know the problems in life require a multiplicity of solutions. So this is just an example. We have released this report for use. We hope it is going to be useful to the people in the ministry that make policies, to the people in KICD and the other curriculum institutions that are reforming the curriculum, but also to people that are in the examinations council and the people who are in charge of assessment, so that they may draw our experience to improve how children are assessed in our education system. Thank you.
The process and how and the challenge.
Thank you. Nĩ kĩgomano kĩrĩa kĩragĩthiĩ na mbere kĩa arimũ kana kĩa mathukuru, na no wega gũgĩkinyanĩria gĩthomo thĩinĩ wa gĩtarũ kĩa Afrika ya irathĩro. No tũragĩthiĩ na mbere na gũkũrehera mohoro kuma kũndũ gũtiganĩte, no tũrathiĩ na mbere na kũhungura nĩgetha tũgagĩkũmenyithia ũrĩa maũndũ maikarĩte kaunti citiganĩte. Na tũkĩmũrĩka riboti ĩngĩ nĩ atĩ Kenya Kenya no mathiĩte na mbere na gũkĩrĩra thirikari nĩ ũndũ wa gũtindĩkĩra guthikiriria kuhitukio kwa mutaratara wa watho wa kigina wa mwaka wa 2023-2024 thiini wa bunge ya bururi ona thengia wa mateta manyongerera ya magoti maria maugite ati ni mekumahatiriria na njira nene. Mwena wa Nyahururu kaunti-ini ya Laikipia aikari maugite ati kwambatirio kwa igoti ria maguta ni gucungiriria kuongerereka kunene kwa thogora wa indo citiganite kwambiriria mweri tukite riria bajeti ya mwaka wa kigina wa 2023-2024 riu ikambiriria kurutithio wira. Mwangi wa wira ena ndeto makiria kuma kuria mwena wa Nyahururu. Tuthie mwe kwa mwe.
Sawa wewe akimari
Mwangi wa wawira
thengio makeria ndirakwamukira wega gicimo kuma guku Nyahururu thiini wa kaunti ya Laikipia ogwo agikorwo gitariani ati muingi ni uthiete na mbere na kuruta mawoni matiganite megie ndereti ya budget ya mwaka wa kigina na undu ucio ni ukoretwo gitumara mawoni ngurani kuma kuri muingi ndikiri na aikari haha ndira tukorwo tukiaraniria nao hihi makorwo magitutariria hihi maraigua ndeto ino ihana ate na marahutu na njira iriku no wambie na ritwa arafu utueleze labda hisia zako kuhusu hii budget ni gani?
Kwa majina ninaitwa Eric Prof kutoka Laikipia. Kwa sababu hisia yangu ya hii budget, tunajua hii bill itapita tu kwa sababu na imetukalia sisi kama wananchi sana. Ukitazama saa hizi hakuna makazi, hakuna nini, kila mtu wako idlers for now. Kwa sababu hatuko tunadhania tutafika hapo. Kwa sababu hata wakisema haitapita, sisi wananchi tukatae, wale tu wakuu wenye wako na pesa wataipitisha tu na tutaumia kabisa. So tunaona kama hii ni bill inapita, sisi kama wananchi hakuna kitu tutafanya, tutakubali tu hivyo. Na kwa sababu tumeona vile ahadi tuliahidiwa na hii serikali iliingia, yote ilikuwa tumeiona, hata tukiitana tunaona haikuwa kitu ambao yenye inakuja kutusaidia sisi, ilikuwa inasaidia wale wako juu sana. Kwa sababu kitazama wabunge wengine ambao wenye walikataa kama wa Mount Kenya, ukisikia hisia yao wanasema watapitisha kwa wananchi wamesema. Lakini ukiona mbunge mmoja wa huko Murang'a alikataa na akasema yeye hatapitisha kwa sababu alijua sisi kama wananchi tunaumia. Yes.
Asante. Ihi mawoni kamiti ya bunge ni meritwo moke makoro makioya mawoni kuma kuri muingi. Ihi ni urona ta makorirwo magitabania mawoni ikinya riega ria mawoni kuma kuri akenya kirathi giothe?
Aca wa mbere njuge ha maritwa njitagwo Wachira Edward kuma kuria Nyandarua. Ani wega njuge ati uguo waturia teithio turi itaikari andu acio wira wa ma na ngwire tutiakinyire matiakinyire mashinani. Na gikorwo ni makinyire matiakinyire na njira ire yagiriire, hihi ikorwo hihi mahingagira ringi rumu magagita andu aria makiguithanagia nigetha makihetukia uguo marenda. No mareke ngwire Mwangi ni ati guku mashinani no ngithikiriria andu ni marakaya, no ririkane ati nitwatigirwo na mukuha urio-ini ni thirikari irekire atia irarikirie kuhetuka wira wa ma thogora wa muturire ni urari iguru makiria. Na haria tuthiete na biru ino reke ngwire Mwangi twathikiriria na twacirora to no magukihetukia na ni mekuhetukia to nio makiri na majority na ni wega na nito masupportaga tondu ni thirikari itu na ni no nginya igiki uria gwika no ha thogora wa muturire makiria ta riu biru ino turauga ya VAT ya maguta. Uririkane maguta nimo makoma kihutia sector ciothe tu kada icio kuona guko cia nduthi transport. Marori maria makoma gi transport ko ni mutu cukari na ki indo icio no nginya ciambate tondu maguta ni mambata mundu gwetwo. Uririkane ati riria wahutia maguta no wahutia karakara kamuikari wa bururi wa Kenya tondu maguta gutire handu matekaga atia. No uririkane andu aria maratindika biru ino ndagika ino ni twamonire thirikari yo yarikirie kuhetuka makiuga ati maguta matibatie nginya gwikirwo 8%. Umuthi uyu kai mareciria atia makinyia 16%. Uririkane matwirire ati ucio ni murita wa noe na ni ukuraga economy na ni ukuraga muikari wa Kenya. Ndirenda kumoria atiriri Mwangi umuthi kai murita wa noe uratwikire ngwaci kana andu mengihiuhirio ciana ciri tutiri akenu na ni marore hau ona tukimasupportaga maundu maria mangi ha maguta uira wa Ngai mane matige gutuingira karakara turi na mukuhaini ne matige na ithwe tukorwo twarika
ngio makeria na utukorwo tukinyitana na utakiri wa mwisho hihi no ukorwo gitutariria kwa thaa ici muhinyiririo na njira iri kuthogora muturire na hihi kuma mweri-ini wa mugwanja nirio biru ino kana budget ino kwambia kurutithio wira urona mukenya gukorwo ariha
Njitagwo Charles Wahome na ndi muikari wa Nyahururu riu hari bill no nitungenda thirikari muno irore undu-ini wigie maguta tondu maguta nimo makoragwo me backbone thini wa Kenya kana ona hakuhi ona thi yothe gutiri macini yothe tatumagira maguta o kindu giothe ukienda gwika no watumira maguta no nginya magwiti ona korwo thirikari ndirerutanirie kauga ni kuruta macini ni kuruta ngari igitumira thitima no undu wa bata indi nitungiha thirikari igerie one ati maguta matinahatiriria mundu wa kawaida especially ningenda ningi ona thirikari igerie kunina idlers tondu wira anake tutikwenda kuona makiurura guku agine gukoma makomete kwaja mundu munini wina miaka 30 akomete oro uguo ni mahitia muno riu ni ingenda thirikari igerie maundu macio mothe na igerie kurora bill na njira njega.
Thengio makeria ni undu wa mahinda gicimo Kenya Benjo kimwaro korwe mwena wa studio no waigwa kayo ka muingi wa guku ni magikiuga ati ni mathiete na mbere na kuhinyiririka na njira nene ni undu wa mahinda Kenya Benjo kimwaro korwe mwena wa studio kuma guku Nyahururu handu-ini ya Kameme TV ni njitagwo Francis Mwangi wa wawira korwe studio.
Thegio Orio wa wawira kuma kuu mwena wa Nyahururu na riboti yo ya wawira ni wego wamba gututwara thiini wa kahinda ga guikiria ro hanini tabarira ya Ndurumeni Matuura-ini ni gukorwo gicokereria thutha wa ndagika citari kunene.
Kameme TV. Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Wihotanire ginyagia maita 5,000 ma beti yaku teke. Yes, ni huthu. Hihinya *675# uthake na namba 6 cia munyaka kume 1 nginya 6. Ikira muigano wa beti yaku kuwihotanire ginyagia maita 5,000 hau. Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Wigire mweke muhari miekene ya gutuika muhotani. Hihinya *675# uthake o riu. Mundu utakinyetie miaka 18 na ndagathake. Thaka na uigirereki. Itangatho riri ni rihitukie ni BCLB. Jumamothi mweri 24 June. Kameme kayo ka muingi na Kameme TV kunyitanire na Jose Gatutura, Machete the King na Samido turakurehera Dumo ya Safari Rally WRC 2023 Nekoria Malin Resort Naivasha Nakuru Highway. Shaking down the stage, Jose Gatutura, Machete the King na Samido. Koigira no matano majomo regular VIP 1,500. Dumo ya Safari Rally.
Umako niki bago ni gukora ukinyite guku thainya
kaide ya gadagari
dike nguire
mwaka uyu wothe ndirenda mundu ukuni stress
abohejio ni maku
awe together
uramaanisha atia
kenjokire
ndina mutsia gukwariria
ni gute gutheri
nie
ona ni urajagira kiene ni maundu mariku wambia
bure kabisa
no raruma nyati ongika
tumie kanwa kau ka gutuire mata
kaukire kunjirithia
igua riu no wambia gwikoa
amuselanda koro we naguo we
niki wona ni ndeka
ona fatira ukoro wikirite marinda we ongirwo ndo ngigua
ni ugwibanga ndukwenda mataro makwa
urenda karebe
na ndirege
tudwara karebe kagatia ona ndui
ni ugo ucio mukorago naguo thiendaga ni ati ungi utangika we
ruake ndaguteithie naki
ni ndioe
no miakire ugucagia thaici ni kiraguthukira
we serious niki kiraguthekia
that's nice
kawage cheza
no no ageria we moru
no tuthiite na mbere wega muno makiria na ni ngatho ni undu wa gwitikira gutucagura karavisheni ya Kameme TV ni tabarira ya Ndurumeni Matuura-ini haria hothe uri turaguthugukia kona citiganite cia bururi wa Kenya tugikumenyithagia uria maundu mahana. Twambe tucoke thiini wa giikaro gia kamiti ya bunge igi urimi na iria ina giikaro na kambuni 29 cia uthei wa mutu iria cirateta ni kwaga kurihwo mathiri macio na kuria CS wa urimi Thikari Nturi onake aranyita itemi
is 5.2.589 less 6.9. I think we should have a firm number so that the committee can work on it. Someone can work for me this figure, because Godliff has already written now, so that it's on record, or grain industry, sorry, so that's on record the exact amount that is being claimed.
Point of order, Chair. No, I think legal counsel for CMA. I think you need to clean your document once more, and I'll tell you why. Because we have also looked at what you presented. How to read your figures. On paragraph 5 B, the two entries, the additionals. Initially, are telling us on paragraph 5, at the introduction of paragraph 5, that the amount should be 2,567,613,287, without the addition of 2 who are Abraham, Minas, and Trinidad. When you bring in what is outstanding for Trinidad and Abraham, Minas, I want you to remember that, to listen to me very carefully. When you bring in 17,517 down there at B, 5B, 891.55 plus 445,798.62. If you add these two and you add them to the figure you've given there, 2.567, you don't get 2.59889. And that is Kameme's problem. And that's the committee's problem. That's what we are saying. These figures are not adding. So when you come to figures themselves, the money is not adding. When you come to the numbers of them, there we are dealing with 29 members of CMA. At some point, you said, okay, without these two, they should have been 29, isn't it? The 27, then you added 2 to get 29. But when you look at it in detail, you realize there are 30. So that when you add this, you subtract these 2, you get 28. So your figures are completely wrong. So you really need to go and revisit the figures and give us an authentic report. Because if we take this report, we cannot write a report. And that is the reason of the problem we have had. So in concluding this matter, because I want us to conclude at this point in time.
And before you conclude, Chair, even that figure, when they're telling us, even that figure minus the 6.9, it still comes to another figure.
So the figures are not balanced. The second thing that I want to tell you, the other group, the small scale millers, this committee clearly agrees. And I'll tell you the reason why. Their figures were clear, the additions were clear, the amount owed was clear, the numbers were clear. Everything was found. And the ministry confirmed. The ministry is owed money by treasury. Because there is treasury disbursement of 4 billion to the ministry. That money cannot be given to the ministry until it is cleared. You are also owing the ministry a transfer because of this unbalancing the figures. So we have a problem as a country. We are creating a crisis in a country. So you need to balance your figures so that we can know. And this is why we are not balancing. Again, when you see leaders coming up, in and out, and then you see that in figures, we cannot touch because we have to advise the government to pay what is exactly owed to the individuals and companies. So what you are doing is not balanced. And that is why we are saying you need to write as a report that you cannot change when you present to us within it. And I want to be honest, we will go to court because people will go to court to confirm these figures are not balanced. So you will not have a case. So can you please organize yourself? Thank you.
Yes, just to respond, I think first of all, as from Honorable Kagombe, we had stated that I had admitted that the earlier letters, even a letter on page 8, had said when they were computing the number of millers, they'd been advantageously and added or included Mombasa millers as if they are 4 when they are 3. My response is that those letters that were referring to an earlier, because at the end of the day, when we have a committee hearing, we are giving figures and then it is a confirmation. So we've confirmed to you the figure that is outstanding and we have tabulated at an extra 1 the figures that we are claiming. And it is by individual miller. We've already indicated the amount that was invoiced by each miller, the amount that was paid by each miller, than the outstanding amount payable to each mill. So it becomes very clear as regards to an extra one on the outstanding amount.
But I'll ask you a small question. When you say Mombasa erroneously had 4 entries, at the 4th entry, did it have a financial value?
No. I'm saying it was a letter at page 8. This is what they've written at page 8. They said that the following members of CMA have registered and will be participating in the May subsidy program. That list had 28. It did not have any value there. They were just saying that the members who are participating, there are 28 instead of 27 then. Okay. Yes. That's the clarification I was saying.
Let me take you to your Miller audit summary. That is at page 1.
Yes.
Miller audit summary.
Yes.
There we have 29.
Yes.
Now let's go to the Miller flour distribution category by category. That is at page 27. Page 27.
Yes.
Okay. There are 28. Okay. Miller audit, there are 29. At the Miller flour distribution by category, there are 28. And out of these 28, grain industries that are regional, Alpha is also missing from there. But Alpha is in the list of the Miller audit.
Yeah, I agree. Documents don't lie. I agree. This was a document from CMA. I think there was an inadvertent omission of Alpha grain millers. It's admitted. There's nothing you can say about a document.
I want to conclude.
Yes.
You have told us that the letters you've given us today are the same letters you gave us last time. We have that document.
Yes.
And I also remind you, there was a specific figure of the amount owing that you were writing to the ministry and to CS Treasury to pay. I may not have the document here, but I remember the figure very well. That figure changed on the day you made the presentation. And that is the day you introduced these other 2 million, which is fine. We are aware in our mind that figure is there. It's just a different figure again. We don't know whether that is the figure which is 257 here. We'll have to confirm whether that is the 257 we are seeing here. 2.67 billion that was owing. Whether it is the same figure, we must verify. It was dramatic payment less interest. And there were 3 letters. We have those letters. So we shall refer to the letters. There must be consistency in what you presented last time and what you're giving us today. All you are doing is clear this matter for us to better understand it and conclude. Finally, then we do not want to dance in figures. Millers are dancing, the amount of money is dancing, the amount that is supposed to be paid is that the number of bales produced is different from what you have in this country. You may have to sit with all of them, even if it is NCP. You can't quote a document which does not belong somewhere. You must quote a document that can be owned. So if you have to annex a document here, NCPB did not say this is an appropriate document. At the end of the day, at the end of the document, you see actually there is a difference between the quantities. So you need to have a document that can be owned. Whatever you like to ask is what you shall take, and we give you 1 week. Okay. Do this in the next 1 week. Bring us those documents quickly so that we can finish this matter. And I think
just one last minute. You know, Chair, as the watchdog of the people, I am inclined to think.
Aya, tutigane na ndeto yo ni ragithie na mbere ntugukorwo tugikuhaririria riboti njega thiini wa mohoro maitu maria mekurumirira. Tumarike riboti ingi na Minister wa Iganda na Wonjoria Moses Kuria ari mbere ya bunge ya Senate ni undu wa gucokia ciuria cia indo iria cikoretwo cikirehwo guku bururi-ini citekurihirwo igoti. Gikaro giki gikiambiriria hau kabere ni kuma na riendekithia ria kuma kuri Senator wa guku Nairobi Edwin Sifuna na kuria Kuria ndagetikirio gucokia ciuria mbere ya Senate akiuga ati Kuria ekuhuthira mweke uyu gukorwo agitheria kuri na ni kuri na riendekithia ari nario ria gukorwo akihagura Kuria ni undu wa gukirira nyumba cia mohoro Nairobi. Ona kuhana oro uguo itanya riake ritina kinyanira kuona Kuria ni hingo arathie na mbere ona guthie na mbere na guthurimwo maundu maria maragithie na mbere nginyagia ndagika ino na twambe tuguthuke tumenye uria guikarite.
And read out the question. Thereafter, the other senators will be allowed to ask supplementary questions. So, CS, prepare yourselves to not just respond to the question before you, as forwarded to you by the clerk, but also other supplementary questions that will be fielded by other senators. And therefore, I will call upon the Senator for Marsabit, Senator Mohamed Chute, to proceed and ask the question. Senator, what clarification are you seeking?
Honorable Speaker, I wanted some clarification or guidance from the chair pursuant to Standing Order number 1. Mr. Speaker, by way of information, the person listed to appear before the Senate this morning, the Honorable Cabinet Secretary for Trade, Honorable Moses Kuria, Mr. Speaker, is the subject of a censure motion that I filed in this Senate on the 19th of June 2023. The guidance that I rise to seek, therefore, Mr. Speaker, is number 1, whether a person who is going to be or is already a subject of a motion of censure that has already been filed before this hallowed house can again appear before that same house prior to the motion on censure being dispensed. Because in my view, Mr. Speaker, that motion would be prejudiced by the appearance of that person before we have dispensed that matter before this House. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I personally take great exception to the presence of somebody the subject of such a motion in this hallowed house. And my fear is that the CS is going to use this privilege of appearance before the Senate to cleanse himself of the accusations that are contained in that motion. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we in the minority side are objecting to his presence in this House, and we would seek your direction on whether or not his presence here today prior to the dispense of this motion would be prejudicial to the same motion. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me and this side on issues that we want clarified by the chair. The Speaker, as stated by the Senator of Nairobi, there is a live censure motion against the Cabinet Secretary who has appeared before this House today to respond to questions raised by Senator of Marsabit. The Speaker, for the dignity of this House and for the dignity of public service, the Speaker, it would be wrong that a minister, a public servant, who is facing a motion of censure gets the privilege of addressing this Honorable House on any matter touching on his docket. The Speaker, I want to make full disclosure on the floor of this House that Honorable Moses Kuria is a personal friend of mine. But when it comes to matters of public service, the Speaker, friendships take a back seat. The things that the Honorable Moses Kuria has said about the media in relation to aspects that touch on the questions that were asked by Senator for Marsabit. The Speaker, it is known in this House and in this country that Senator Enoch Wambua is a journalist of long and good standing. To allow a leader, a cabinet secretary, to use the floor of this House to sanitize himself over accusations of abuse and insults directed at media houses, Mr. Speaker, is a painful thing for me. So friendship aside, Mr. Speaker, and Moses Kuria and I can have a cup of tea after this, no problem. But, Mr. Speaker, on a matter of principle, we should not allow Moses Kuria to use the floor of this August House to sanitize himself, he should be stood down until we dispense with the motion of censure against him. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Aaron Cheriot.
Mr. Speaker, you know, when I walked in this morning and I saw the minority side, I knew that something was amiss. As you are aware, Mr. Speaker, the minority side has moved to court. And it's the minority side of the Senate, because their colleagues in the National Assembly believe in this system of accountability where ministers appear before Parliament and respond to questions. Mr. Speaker, sir, please...
Would you wish to be informed?
After I make my remarks, I will walk to Sifuna and he will inform me. Mr. Speaker, anyway, so that I don't prejudice him, let Senator Sifuna inform me.
Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to inform the Leader of the Majority that, in fact, the National Assembly applied to be enjoined in that particular case, and they're an active party.
My point precisely, Mr. Speaker, that when it comes to matters politics and law, the National Assembly, on many occasions, gives the Senate the short end of the stick, and on this occasion, the minority side. While they do that, Senator Sifuna, I want to advise you, take the clips of cabinet ministers appearing before the National Assembly and see which side of the House is normally full. It is the minority side. So while they are telling you that they don't believe in this process, they fill up the House. And I've taken time to ask them, why do you do this? None other than Opio and I, the leader of minority in the National Assembly, told me, it's because your work as senators is only to look after governors. What are you doing with government ministers? So they are misleading you guys, and you guys are falling to their trap. Anyway, Mr. Speaker,
Senator
this is the point.
Cheriot, the standing orders demands that you address your colleagues as honorable senators, not guys.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues from the minority side, this is the point, Mr. Speaker, that it's time they made up their mind, whether they believe in this process or they don't. Otherwise, this business, Mr. Speaker, of on one day giving the Senate sessions, as they have done the last 6 or so weeks, a white bath, not appearing, then suddenly out of the blues, make up on one Sunday, one beautiful Wednesday morning, such as today, and say that they want to stop the proceedings, Mr. Speaker. You know, there is what you refer to as goodwill, Mr. Speaker, even in your actions. If you come before the House with goodwill, believe you me, Senator Wambua, if you had been appearing previously and you believed in this process, and then today you raise that particular standing order, I'd have taken opportunity to listen and say, maybe they have a point, Mr. Speaker.
Aya na riboti ĩyo no riboti imwe ona cio iria tũrathiĩ na mbere tũkĩrũmanagĩrĩra mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ. Tuthiĩ nginya kũrĩa kaunti-inĩ ya Nanyuki na namba ya ciana iria ciũrũraga taũni-inĩ ya Nanyuki rĩu nĩ ikũrũkĩte na gĩkĩro kĩnene, na ũũ nĩ kumana na aingĩ ao gũkorwo makĩnyitithanio na aciari ao na arĩa mahetwo mĩkana mĩritũ makorwo magĩtungata na kũrũmbũyania na ciana ciao. Angĩ ao nĩ matwarĩtwo thĩinĩ wa mĩciĩ ya ciana ta mũciĩ wa Sidek kũrĩa maratangĩkĩrwo thĩinĩ wa mũbango ũrĩa ũkoretwo ũgĩtwarithio na mbere nĩ mũndũ ũmwe wa wendi mwega. Paul Mwaniki nĩ araranĩria na mũndũ ũyũ wa wendi mwega ũrĩa ũkoretwo agĩteithĩrĩria ciana ici. Tũthiĩ mwekwe kuri we Mwaniki Geithĩka tũmenyithie ũrĩa ciana cirarutwo taũni-inĩ ya Nanyuki.
Thengio muno gĩcimu nĩ ndĩrakwamũkĩra na njĩra ĩgwete na kwa mũtugo mataũni marĩa makoragwo thĩinĩ wa bũrũri wa Kenya nĩ tũkoragwo tũkĩona nĩ gũkoragwo na ciana nyingĩ iria ikoragwo ikĩũrũra mabarabara-inĩ, na tũkoretwo na inegene inene mũno thĩinĩ wa taũni ya Nanyuki kuona ciana ici nĩ irongererekete na gĩkĩro kĩnene mũno. Tũkĩririkana atĩ hĩndĩ ya kũhinga mwaka kũrĩa makoragwo magĩtugwo nĩ mũtumia ũĩkaine ta nyina ngotho ũrĩa ũkoragwo akĩmarugira nĩ akorirwo akĩnegena kuona namba yao o mwaka ĩkoretwo ĩgĩthiĩ na mbere na kuongerereka mũno taũni-inĩ no ya Nanyuki. No kwa ihinda rĩrĩ nĩ tuonete namba ĩno ĩgĩthiĩ thĩ kumana na wĩrutĩri wa mũndũ ũmwe ũĩkaine ta coaches thĩinĩ wa taũni ĩno ya Nanyuki ũrĩa ũkoretwo agĩethana na ciana ici akamenya mathĩna mao na akamenya kũrĩa maumĩte, no korwo aingĩ gũtirĩ na kũrĩa maumĩte magakorwo magĩtwarwo mũciĩ wa ciana wa Sedek. Tũkorwo tũkĩnyitanĩra na coaches, hihi coaches wambe ũtwĩre rĩtwa rĩaku
uria yoikaine yoikaine ta coaches twire ritwa riaku uria riria guciarwo no twire ni hihi ni undu uriku uyu wa kunyitire niguo gutigirira ati ni urageria kuruta ciana ici thiini wa tauni ino ya Nanyuki twanirire
maritwa makwa njitagwo Maina Mwangi Muthami na kiria giatunyire ngoro-ini yakwa ni kuona ciana ici mathina maria irahitukira ndiona ciana ici ona ciri tauni kuria arume marakoma nginya na imwana ugakoraga mwana ucio ni marahurwo bara kiria thukuma ni aratunywo ni aria nene gitua itua ciana ici ndicirie iguru ria ofio na tondu ndambire ngika research ya kwamba kumenya aciari yao o muci ni njui mwana kuria umite yamba kufuatirira mathina maria maratuma mwana akorwo ari tauni riu kuma hau ni ndari na wira muhuthu wa kumenya uyu arabatara guthi cukuru uyu arabatara gutwarwo sendeki tondu gutikire irio uyu nake arabatara gutwarwo cukuru tondu ni cukuru agitigire ni wagi wa mbeca no kuhitukira hau haria tukinyete tauni itu itigarite o imwana iria nene
na hici ciana ici kuringana na uria riu wekire research yaku ciana nyingi koragwo ciumite micii-ini kana ciana nyingi koragwo ciumite kurira iroka hihi kuhoya hoya thiini wa tauni
gutire mwana utakoragwo na muciari Nanyuki o mwana ni ari muciari thina haria tukoragwo naguo ni gukorwo kuria aciari mahuthagira ciana icio gwetha daily bread aratuma mwana ni urathi gwetha uboco ni urariha nyumba mwana uri ona mathina maria angikuheri arakuhe mathina maingi nginya kuri muciari wake ni erirwo gutire mutu ni erirwo nyumba erorete kuhingwo mwana uri ariwo na riri uragiana nake ri akuheaga mathina ukarigwo kwanjiriria ku urikirie ku no kia muico tugaga mwana uri no nginya athome nigetha rucio ahote guteithia muciari wake
hihi aciari aya riria mwamona ni tuwi kwi makinya ma watho maria mabati gukorwo makioerwo aciari taya hihi ni mukoragwo mukimaiguithia hihi kuna ati ni murabatara mwana uyu acoke kwi muciari na ni murabatara hihi watho ukorwo ukiruta wira hihi mukoragwo mukirora maundu atia kumaiganania
riu na njira iria turoraga maundu huthagira ofici ya ciana tondu ni gukire watho wa mwana ndigagikire watho uria witikiritie mwana ukithili na mwana wakeri ni twandikagira aciari cio marua thuru cifo thuru ofici ya ciana tukamatwarira kuma hau muciari atangiigua uria akirwo no ikinya kinyukagirio ni thirikari agaikio thiini
na hihi riu kuri na aya urauga ni anene andu hihi matangitwarwo thiini wa mucii wa ciana wa Sedek kana hihi andu aria marakorwo makiethera uboco na kurogota ringi indo na kwendia scrap metal hihi murakorwo mukimateithia atia kuona ati nginya muthenya ta umuthi mwena umwe wao murathie guthika urikitie kumutiga
riu kumateithia kuria tungimateithia no ni ihitia riria ingiuga inene ni ria thirikari tondu aya nene mabati amwe gutwarwo polytechnic aya marogotaga nao mabati gukorwo magiteithiririo uria mariendagia indo ici ciao matikahinyiririo tondu aria maguraga scraps maguraga na thogora wa thi muno ukona mundu uria mbeca iria arathukuma no kuri arari anada which is mundu uria nginya nguo ni arare na nyumba ndangihota gukombora riu na no amenya miikarire yo mundu angikara kia muico no twikaga ni kuringana na mathina uria maramuikia riu ihoya riakwa hari thirikari no njuge hari thirikari riria ringitwarwo riehere tauni na riteithie na aya nene ri magithondekerwo thoko ya indo ici makirogotaga nigetha mundu akiendia cigakorwo ikimuteithia na nyuki thina uyu wa metagwo street family kari twari riria riuru andu mahuthagira mametaga chokora no tukorwo kindu kiu ni kiariganira biu
thengio muno coaches Mwangi ni undu wa kuritana na ithuĩ thiini wa TV ya Kameme na otoguo mwiroreri waigua ni ati ni undu ukoretwo kuo Mwangi akigeria kuhurana na gutigirira ni anina ciana ici thiini wa mabarabara na otoguo atariria hakoragwo ari hinya muno gukorwo agikira muhaka gatagati ka mwana uria urabatara gucoka kwi muciari na kunyitithia muciari uyu kuona ati andu aya ni marabatarana koguo akoragwo akirora watho niguo gutigirira ati ciana ici ni ciacoka kuri aciari ao na ni mahota gukorwo magicirora na njira iria igwete na ni mate kahinda-ini gaka Mwangi marauga thiini wa tauni ya Nanyuki maratengerania ona ruhuho kuona ati ciana ciothe ni ithirite thiini wa tauni ino na gakorwo gikihoya kuri aria mangikorwo ni anene matingicokio mathukuru matingicokio kuri aciari ao makorwo makirorwo ni thirikari kuri andu mangiuga ni matoro ma polytechnic kuri andu mangituika ona masoja kana thigari cia muhohio iria cikoragwo ikirangira indo ni andu makoretwo makirutithania wira na mikora na niyo moya atiriri mikora igeraga ha kuma guku thiini wa tauni ya Nanyuki gigucokia kuri we gicimu muhuri wakwa wa mbica ni wa Mbui wa Icugu njitagwo Paul Mwaniki ino ni county namba 31 thengio Mwaniki ni ndwa riboti iyo na niyo guteithiraniria Ndurumeni Matuura-ini ni ngatho nawe mwirori wa Kameme TV ni undu wa gutucagura na kwirorera karavation ino miarahuko ya muthenya wa umuthi riu tucemanie ciehanda munyuge thaa 7 ni undu wa mohoro gitau.
Kameme TV, muthegi wa ruriri.
The Mwalimu Plus Learning Management System, an education management tool that fits in with the country's education system and allows schools and parents to monitor students' progress effectively. From tracking and reporting to providing resources and effective learning tools, teachers and parents alike will be in the loop of each child's progress. With Mwalimu Plus, schools will not need to invest heavily in infrastructure. That's because the system offers the necessary tools, tablets and the software at a great cost to enable schools get off successfully. Things are changing, and the Mwalimu Plus Learning Management System is at the forefront of this change.
Tafarira ya mwigariko wa mathako na iria igukinyagira oro muthenya wa Jumamothi miarahuko